Oh my god, bro, that is evil. Not only did you that woman, you sent her the hey, what is up guys? It is your boy Evan. I am coming to you with another video, right? So there was a shooting in my backyard, Clovis. Lots of craziness going on there lately, right? Transgender athletes, shootings, never stops. But there was a shooting, right? Happened in the parking lot of a McDonald's, and at first this seemed like another instance of senseless teenage violence, akin to the Carmelo Anthony situation that happened, but turns out it's not as simple as that. So I thought before I get any further news into it, I should record this and we could talk about this so I could experience it with y'all in real time. But before we get into the video, I would really appreciate if you could like, comment, subscribe for me. It'll help the channel grow. You know, I always appreciate it. Thank you very much. Let's go ahead and get into it.
New details in a Clovis killing. Action News is now learning more about what happened before the shooting at a Clovis McDonald's that left a young man dead and shocked the region. The attorney for the accused killer says he doesn't condone the alleged behavior, but believes the new information offers important context in this case.
This event,
So once again, this new context is new. For a while, the circulating narrative has just been that this was senseless gun violence between teenagers. A good student athlete that was slain by this other student. But we're about to get some information that may provide some context as to what happened.
if he is the one that committed it, was precipitated by some extreme provocation.
And thanks for joining us tonight for Action News Live at 5. I'm Warren Armstrong.
And I'm Graciela Moreno. It has been more than a month since Caleb Quick died in what prosecutors say was a public execution. And now the chief suspect's attorney is revealing key details that he says could make all the difference.
The attorney stated some of that information in a juvenile court hearing for his client today and revealed much more during an exclusive interview with Action News reporter Gabe Ferris.
Now, Gabe has been tracking this case for weeks, and he joins us now from the live desk with what the attorney told him today in a story that you'll only see on Action News. Gabe.
Warren and Graciela, the new details are serious, and they came just hours before the accused killer was in court. The boy's attorney characterized what happened as an isolated incident, and he tried to use that today to get his client released. Despite the new details, though, a judge rejected it.
After weeks of rumors in the case of Caleb Quick's murder, new details about the possible motive released for the first time to Action News.
It wasn't for money, it wasn't for personal benefit, it was avenging an egregious harm that occurred to someone else.
Attorney Mark Coleman represents the 16-year-old boy who detectives say pulled the trigger, killing Quick at a Clovis McDonald's in April. He says police documents and first-hand accounts show the victim may have violated multiple girls. A key piece of evidence came from Caleb's phone. Dated April 14th, it shows a first-person view of sex with a girl. That girl later told investigators she had blacked out and didn't remember consenting to sex or even having it until Caleb sent her that video.
The motive for this crime.
Oh my god, bro, that is evil. Not only did you that woman, you sent her the video? What is wrong with, oh my god. Oh, that is stomach wrenching. Wow.
Crime, according to the police, is that someone knew of the rape and the videotape, and they believed that Caleb had done this on a number of occasions and that he needed to be stopped.
And that someone is your client.
That's what they're alleging. That remains to be seen.
Coleman says it wasn't the first or only incident of that nature.
It is believed that there was a pattern of behavior. All I can say is that we know of at least 2 other incidents that are similar.
Another girl told investigators of 4 sexual acts, and police also spoke with several of Caleb's closest friends. One female friend told investigators he frequently slapped her and once pressured her into having sex. Another friend told police Caleb's behavior was well known and that there were several incidents.
It puts it into a completely different context, and I think everybody needs to put themselves in that position in terms of what would you do?
The young suspect's parents have provided this photo of him, a polished snapshot of their son. But investigators say this was the boy in the raw just moments before he opened fire on Caleb. We've also learned new details about the shooting itself. The male suspect and his girlfriend were both at the McDonald's before the attack. They left so the boy could change into all black. Moments later, surveillance video shows him back at the restaurant. Police say he tracked Quick for 13 minutes before following him into the parking lot. We now know the suspect's girlfriend was inside the McDonald's at the time. Investigators believe she eventually slipped out into that white Tesla to drive away.
I have a lot of questions, but I'll never get answers. Like, ultimately, you know, everyone's got their ultimate judgment.
On Wednesday, the shooting suspect denied the murder charge against him, and a judge ordered him to stay in juvenile hall.
My argument is that assuming he did this, which again we don't concede, that there was great provocation, that it's not likely to recur.
We're told Caleb Quick's parents would have.
That's a very interesting way of wording it. It's a very lawyer way of wording it. I don't know if I like that. We're not saying he did it, but if he did, he had a pretty good reason.
Have no comment on the new allegations laid out today, and we should note that none of this has been proven in a court of law. Prosecutors will not present their evidence for months. At the live desk, I'm Gabe Ferris, ABC 30 Action News.
All right, guys, so you seen that? You heard that, right? Now, I'll start with this. Vigilante justice is not okay. There's a difference between active self-defense and the defense of others, which is where you are witnessing a crime happening and preventing it from escalating any further. Like if he were to have walked in on one of these young lady victims being assaulted and he opened fire on the aggressor, that's a-okay every day of the week. But coming in after the fact and performing a revenge killing is something entirely different. With that said, I can feasibly understand the motive. Someone near and dear to you was assaulted in the worst way possible and will have to live the rest of their life with that pain. A pain that you want to return in reciprocity. I understand it. I really do. You know, this isn't a clout killing. This isn't a for gain killing. This is a solely vengeful, justice in your own hands killing. That doesn't make it okay. That doesn't even make it justified. But I would argue it makes it reasonable. If I were the judge in this case, I would take that into consideration. You know, maybe you don't release him from jail. Maybe that is a fair assessment. You don't release him from prison. However, I would be more light with the sentencing. You could even argue that you were so overwhelmed by this justification, this extreme provocation as they word it, and say that this was a act of passion. You weren't in control of yourself. You were that angry. There's reason to believe that is an argument, at least from my opinion. But your actions do have consequences. At the end of the day, if he did do it, and the reasoning sticks, you're still guilty of murder. I only pray that God could help mend his spirit, because anyone that's that angry from a clear injustice happening, to take it into their own hands, they must be going through a lot. It must have tortured his soul to see someone he cares about, I presume, be attacked that way. But, of course, there's still a system of laws we need to enforce and maintain. Let me know what you guys think. Am I right? Should the judge maybe take it easy with this kid? Or should he throw the book at him? Send him away for the rest of his days? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate it if you like, comment, subscribe. And I will see you in the next one. I'm Evan. This was the video. I'm out. Peace.